So your question for this week is, what have been some of your life's greatest surprises?
Surprises.
Yeah. So what surprises have you had in your life?
Oh, when I was a kid, I sure looked forward to Christmas.
But that's a given.
Well, when your dad and I were dating, and we stopped at May Company, and he said, "I gotta go into May's. I got something in there I gotta get." So he went in. He was gone about 10 or 15 minutes. I thought, "What is he doing?" And he came out with this little box, about yay, and he says, "Here." And I thought, "What is this?" And he handed me the box, and I opened it up, and there was an engagement and a wedding ring in there.
So that was one of your first big surprises,
Yeah,
right?
It was like, oh, okay.
To which you said?
I said yes, I would. And thinking that a guy I knew just sent me a postcard. He was on vacation. He says, "As soon as I get back, I'm going to come see you." And I went, "Oops, this is not going to work."
Wow, so our dad might not have been dad.
Yeah, but his parents didn't like the idea because he was a student at Case, but his parents didn't like the idea because it was a Catholic family and I wasn't Catholic.
Mm.
And back then, you know how they were.
Mm-hmm. And which guy was this?
His first name was Bob, but I can't remember his last name.
Mm.
I wasn't really that interested in him, but he was interested in me.
So then, as far as any other surprises, like something you didn't that came to you that you weren't anticipating, or
The draft notice.
oh,
Got back from our honeymoon, and in the mail was your dad's draft notice. Report January 11th.
wow! And you had just gotten married in November.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow, life changing for both of you.
Oh, the next 2 years or something else, I'll tell you.
Any other surprises like that? Something you didn't expect?
Well, I worked so hard at Laurel to win the scholarship for tuition, and I missed being top in the school by a quarter of a point in grades.
Wow.
And it really upset me.
And what period was that? Like, how old were you, or what grade were you in?
Sophomore.
In high school?
Yeah, I was going in my sophomore year. And Miss Lake knew there was something wrong. And she called me into her office. She said, "Dear, there's something bothering you." And I said, "Well, my grandmother died, and my grandfather's going to remarry, and the woman he's married doesn't want him to pay the tuition." And I said, "And my mother working 2 jobs, and she can't pay the tuition. It's too much. And I don't want to leave the school." And Miss Lake said, "Let me find out something. Don't worry about it. Let me find out something." So she went to the Board of Trustees and got me a scholarship. The Board of Trustees gave me a scholarship for my last 3 years at Laurel.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So you had some great surprises there.
Oh, yeah.
A wedding proposal, a scholarship ride through school, and a draft notice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else as you were older?
Yeah, your dad was, we thought on the kind of houses and furniture and stuff. There wasn't any big issues there. So he went out one time and he was gone a while, and they came back, and I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I just bought you a house." I said, "You what?" He said, I just bought you a house.
And where was that?
And then what?
On Elmwood, our first house?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
just bought you a house, he said. I said, you did what? He did that, you know, and then, what else did he just, oh, and that one time he came home and he said, I got you something. And I said, you got me something? What? He said, I got you your own car.
And which car was that?
Oh, Lord. It was,
I remember the blue Plymouth. We had some blue Plymouth on
yeah, it was
Edenhurst.
way before that.
Way before that.
It was a
okay.
hand-me-down from Grandma Whittle.
Oh, interesting.
We had to, she made us pay for it, though.
Of course.
My mother wouldn't, but she did.
Yes. Okay.
So, that was a surprise, but,
Yeah, because I think when I was coming home on the bus with Robbie Graham when I was in kindergarten, you did that because you didn't have a car to come pick me up.
yeah.
Yeah. And I remember you doing that. So it was sometime after I was maybe 5 years old
Yeah.
before you had a second
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have to take your kids to school and then take your dad to work and take poor Nancy in a pee diaper because I didn't have time to change her before we left.
Jeez. Yeah, to get everybody where they need to be on time
Yeah.
if you wanted to have the car for the day.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah.
Otherwise, he would just go to work and
Yeah,
stay home
yeah.
all day.
I had a wagon, a radio flyer that Dave, when he could sit up, okay, I used to take the wagon to the A&P up at the corner and get groceries and stuff and get him all with the groceries between his legs.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah. But he thought that was fun. And then Sue Klein and I used to take the kids and we used to go to the Ben Franklin ice cream or something. And we'd split a hot dog for you kids.
Mm,
You know, we were all broke, so
yeah.
you'd have half a hot dog was a big treat.
Yeah, but probably at our age, it was more than enough to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't eat a whole hot dog, so.
Well, and I remember one time it was a big deal to me that we went to Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
And it was on Mayfield Road there.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think we went with Bowden's. I'm not sure who we went with, but it was a big deal to have the chicken and the mashed potatoes and,
Yeah.
you know, all that and sit in the red booths and whatnot.
Yeah, I
So-
did. That was the treat when your dad was out of town, because he did travel some. You know, he, like Steve looks services and looks over and repairs installations of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad were there, had put in gas furnaces or something from Sears, because he designed the burner in the
Oh, I see.
Sears furnace,
Oh,
gas furnace. They would send him out to troubleshoot and see if he could fix what was wrong, which he always could.
whom was he working for at that time?
Barber Manufacturing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then we were all very little then, right?
Yeah, you were.
Mm-hmm.
You were.
Yeah. So any others? That's quite a few surprises. So any
Yeah.
other surprises you can think of other than cars and
Oh,
houses?
yeah.
And...
Christmas, this was a real big surprise. Christmas of 1953, I think. Your dad had called to say that they weren't releasing any more people to go home for Christmas, so he wouldn't be able to be home. He was being mustered out of service, that he wouldn't be able to get home until after New Year's. And I was a little upset over that. But there's nothing with the Army, there's nothing you can do. So the whole family was over at Grandma Vaughn's on Christmas Eve and
On Elbon.
on Elvon.
Mhm.
And we were sitting around talking and the doorbell rang. And I thought, who the heck is coming, now on Christmas Eve? And I went and answered the door and your dad stood there.
Was he in uniform?
2 years.
Yeah, I hadn't seen him in 2 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And everyone went, ah. He said, I found a way to get home.
Wow. Did he ever say how he'd managed that?
he got an airplane ride. Somebody gave him a lead on air transport that might take him back to Cleveland.
Wow. Wow.
And then he, I think he actually took a cab once he got to Cleveland.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was so surprised.
Wow.
And we visited, and he said, I haven't had a hot shower because the barracks only had cold water. So he went upstairs and he said, I'm going to get in the bathtub. You should have seen that water. Oh.
Merry Christmas.
Ah. Glad you did that.
Yeah.
He said, oh, that felt so good.
Yeah.
Because he was always a clean. Remember him cleaning his fingernails?
Mm-hmm.
For somebody that worked a lot of dirty jobs, he never had dirty
No,
fingernails.
correct. He always was clean. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very important to him to be clean.
Well, that was a very Merry Christmas then.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, and
quite
he
a
hadn't
surprise.
seen Dave ever until he walked in that door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's a great surprise.
So.
Well,
life,
that's good.
life has interesting twists and turns.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
like as I say, I'm still so in awe that those guys, those cops, pay so much attention to me. Yeah.